Hungary's Prime Minister Orbán faces backlash after controversial comments on Ukraine and Russia. Balázs Orbán, a political advisor to Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, has found himself in a storm of controversy following remarks he made regarding Hungary's stance on Russia and its invasion of Ukraine. During a recent podcast interview, Balázs Orbán suggested that if Russia were to replicate its 1956 invasion of Hungary, Budapest may have hesitated to defend itself, in stark contrast to Ukraine's response. He characterized Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's decision to confront Russia at the onset of the conflict in early 2022 as irresponsible, claiming it resulted in significant loss of life and territory for Ukraine. He put his country on the defensive in a war. So many people died, so much territory was lost, he stated to the conservative media outlet Martiner. He emphasized that while Ukraine had the right to make its own decisions, Hungary would have advised against such a course of action, given its historical experiences. Because we have learned that we must be careful here, and we must be careful with very precious Hungarian lives. You cannot just throw them away in front of others, he added, alluding to the painful memories of the 1956 uprising against Soviet control. Balázs Orbán also expressed his belief that provoking Russia is counterproductive, and asserted that a significant majority of Hungarians, approximately 80 to 90%, support the government's current policy regarding the ongoing war in Ukraine. Political fallout and historical controversy. The advisor's comments have triggered a fierce backlash from opposition politicians and various public figures within Hungary. Critics have accused him of distorting the historical significance of the 1956 Hungarian uprising, which aimed to liberate the nation from Soviet influence but was brutally suppressed by Soviet forces. Peter Magyar, chairman of the opposition TISA party, called for Balázs Orbán to resign, stating that his comments trivialized the sacrifices made by freedom fighters during that pivotal moment in Hungarian history. Quite outrageous sentences, with which the brightest 13 days of the 20th century Hungarian history were sacrificed on the altar of vile daily propaganda communication, Magyar lamented on Facebook. Former Prime Minister Ferenc Gyurcsány, now the leader of the center-left Democratic Coalition Party, condemned Balázs Orbán's remarks as indicative of a government willing to capitulate to Russian aggression without a fight. Similarly, Peter Unger, co-chairman of Hungary's Green Party, criticized the notion that Hungary would not defend itself against military threats, arguing that such views are unacceptable for someone in a representative position. In response to the backlash, Balázs Orbán took to Facebook to defend his statements, rejecting the notion that he had disrespected the memory of those who fought during the 1956 revolution. He labeled the reactions to his comments as outrageous and criticized the prevailing war propaganda. He reiterated his belief that the conflict in Ukraine should never have started and called for a swift diplomatic resolution, suggesting that a peaceful end to the war would have benefited everyone involved. The historical context of Balázs Orbán's comments is crucial. In 1956, during the height of the Cold War, Soviet troops intervened violently to crush the Hungarian Revolution, resulting in the deaths of approximately 6,000 Hungarians, half of whom were civilians. The uprising led to a mass exodus, with tens of thousands fleeing the country in the aftermath of nearly 2 weeks of intense fighting between revolutionaries and Soviet forces, who were determined to maintain their grip over Eastern Europe. As Hungary navigates its position in the current geopolitical landscape, the echoes of its past continue to shape political discourse and public sentiment. Balázs Orbán's remarks have not only reignited discussions about national identity and sovereignty, but have also underscored the delicate balance Hungary must strike in its relationship with Russia and the broader international community.